discussing how to manage stress. I'm going to start off with a video.
Watch this. One little piece of paper can have a remarkable effect. Stress is stressful. But if you understand a bit about what it is, you'll be better able to deal with it. First though, take a few deep breaths. In fact, do that anytime you feel stressed. It helps. Stress is a survival mechanism. When danger appears, it can get you out of trouble quickly. Your body crashes up the gears and throws all its resources into getting you moving. Your heart pumps furiously to increase blood pressure. Glucose is sent to the muscles as fuel injection, and you become totally focused on what psychologists call fight or flight. Thing is, this emergency state is only meant to last just long enough to get you out of danger. But here in the 21st century, we stress about different things, and for much, much longer. Your brain and body stay on red alert, and you'll be less able to think clearly, learn, or remember things. Take a few more deep breaths, because as...
Alright, so what exactly is stress? Stress is a state of mental or emotional strain caused by very demanding circumstances. Stress is completely normal. I'm sure everyone in this room at one point or another has been very stressed, whether it be over a long day at school or work, you're having an argument with a family or a loved one, you're having a busy schedule just in general, lots of errands to run around, you're having financial difficulties. Like the video said, there's just a lot of things to stress over at this time. Everyone's different though, so everyone has different triggers for what makes them stressed out, and everyone has a different level of how much stress they can take. So someone could have a really high stress tolerance, and they can have lots of things stacked on top of them and they're fine. Other people, just one thing and they can have a mental breakdown and freak out because it's just too much stress for them to handle. Most people who have, medium range, high stress tolerance choose to ignore stress just because, they don't want to be a baby, they don't want to whine about their problems, or they're too focused on whatever is stressing them out that they can't think, oh my gosh, I'm stressed. They're like, I'm stressed, I need to do this. So they don't face the problem, and this leads to stress overload, which is when an individual's stress becomes too dangerous. And it can lead to serious mental and physical problems such as depression, anxiety disorders, which in America, 40 million American adults are diagnosed, or not diagnosed, diagnosed and non-diagnosed, face anxiety disorders. It leads to heart problems as well as sleeping problems. So a very common method to explain how your body responds to stress is the fight, flight, or freeze method, which was briefly talked about in the video. Fight, say something back. Flight, physically leave the area, or freeze, don't say anything. This is how your body naturally responds to a stressful situation. It depends a lot upon your personality type. So an example of fight, if you were assigned a presentation for your job, you worked all night getting it together, and then you get there and you're presenting and your boss chews you out. You did an awful job, that was sloppy, terrible. So your response is, hey, screw you, that you freak out, you yell at them, and that would be someone who has the fight tactic as their natural response to stress. Flight, say you walk into your math class. You walk in and you find out that there's a quiz that you did not study for. People are looking over the notes and you just leave. You run away from your problem, you're out of there. That's when you would flight. And then freeze is kind of when people tell you to ignore your problems. People who face any type of stress, they just ignore it. They pretend it's not there and they freeze. When you reach stress overload, this is what happens. And your body is constantly feeling the feeling of either responding in one of these ways. You're in a constant state of urgency, and being in that stops your body from properly functioning in a normal manner, which causes the physical and mental problems that I mentioned earlier. That is worst case scenario, of course, the overload. This presentation is to help explain methods of not being stressed out. So before you get to the point where you're overloaded with stress, there are some symptoms that you can look out for. So they become worse the more stressed out you get. There's cognitive, emotional, and behavioral and physical symptoms. Cognitive includes forgetfulness, poor judgment, constant worrying, or being just overly emotional. Emotional would include moodiness, having a short temper, or feeling just overwhelmed constantly. Behavioral would include eating either more or less, nervous habits such as nail biting, and isolating yourself, which is what leads to depression. And then there's physical aches and pains. Have you ever gotten knots in your neck because you're just stressed out? I know I get really bad headaches when I'm stressed. You can experience nauseousness, dizziness, and you can get sick a lot if you stress yourself out too much. So once you can determine what it is that stresses you out, then you're able to decide what methods best help you not be stressed. So now we'll discuss the first method, which is being present. Everyone gets stressed nowadays, especially now, it's more common. A few ways that you can maybe cope with this is to just breathe deeply, just relax. Everybody gets worked up over things that they're thinking about daily. The sounds of nature often are incorporated into CDs made specifically for relaxation. For example, the sound of water can be very soothing to some people. The sound can conjure up calming images, such as lying beside a mountain stream on a warm spring day. Something nice to think of. Bird songs may also be of use as an aid to actually help your mind slow down and release stressful thoughts. Some tips on how to meditate is listen to your breathing. You don't want to think of anything else if you're going to do some meditation. Also, don't drink or eat, because if your stomach is growling like a grizzly bear, it's going to be a little distracting when you're trying to meditate. Also, wear something comfortable. If you're in skinny jeans and a really tight shirt, that's not going to be comfortable to do meditation. Also, maybe turn off your phone, or at least put it on silent, because that can definitely help. If your phone goes off, immediately you're going to want to go to it to see where it is. Maybe like candles. For me, like scents, I like apple cider and pumpkin pie. I love those scents, and it reminds me of fall. It just gives me a sense of calm. Everybody has their own scents that they may like, so candles would be a good thing. Dim the lights. Nobody wants to actually, do meditation in a really bright setting. It just doesn't help. Also, sit up straight. It'd be good for you. Another way is guided relaxation. It's similar to meditation, but guided relaxation is having somebody, like a recording, talk to you and get you through things, like tell you what to think of, or maybe bring up what is causing your stress. So it's similar to meditation, but meditation is more silent. So if you like silence, then meditation would be good. But if you actually like somebody telling you, how to respond, would be guided relaxation. Decompress. A few ways to decompress is listening to music. For everybody loves music. I have not met somebody who does not like music. It's all different types of music, definitely, because everybody likes their own thing. The soothing power of music is well established. It has a unique link to our emotions, so it can be an extremely effective stress management tool. As music absorbs our attention, it acts as a distraction. At the same time, it helps explore our emotions.
Music forms structure and can bring order and security to disabled and distressed children. It encourages coordination and communication, so it improves their quality of life overall. Music has been shown to help reduce both sensation and distress of chronic pain. Music therapy significantly reduces emotional distress and boosts quality of life among adult cancer patients. Also, another thing that you could maybe use is art. Me, I love art. I love drawing. It's just something that helps me get out of reality. Art can help get in touch with your feelings. It could also act as having a hobby that can help you feel more balanced in your lifestyle. So on your schedule, have like a day where you just, maybe 15 minutes, just draw something or paint something or whatever. A few examples that you could do is sketching, drawing. Finger painting is always fun. Not only kids can do it. Origami, definitely creative. Building with popsicle sticks. Maybe go to the store, eat a whole bunch of ice cream, and then have all these popsicle sticks and build something with it. It helps you get out of reality. It's like having an outlet. The next thing is gardening, and personally I like gardening. I like seeing something grow. It's like kind of how I put it, it's having a child. When you're pregnant for 9 months, you're seeing something grow in your stomach gets getting bigger. When you plant something, you see it grow. You see it, over time get bigger, and it's a beautiful thing. So gardening can help you get in touch with nature, and nature has been proven to help stress. You create beauty when you garden. Also, vitamin D boosts your serotonin. Soaking in vitamin D can help your health physically overall. In a research study, 3 students from the University of Minnesota went to a nursing home, and they took a few patients outside and just let them walk around for a little bit, just stay there for maybe 15-20 minutes, and the others they just kept in the room or just kept them walking around the actual building. And 95% of these interviewed said that their mood improved after spending time outside. And last thing is just to be grateful. Look at the positive sides of things. Everybody looks at the negative, and I know it's hard to look at positive, but just try it out. It definitely helps you maybe. It also can be hard to maybe have time in your schedule. Most of the time, a lot of people are stressed because they're busy, so they don't think they have time to do anything. So this could also something people who are stressed could look at time management. Definitely help them out.
Okay, time management. Everyone knows the phrase "all work and no play," but what about the phrase "all play and no rest" or "all work and no rest"? It's all about the balance of the ability to carve out time for work, rest, and play. If you don't, you're setting yourself up for an enormous amount of stress. First, you need to evaluate your time. As the author of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey explains, I am personally persuaded that the essence of the best thinking in the area of time management is captured in a single phrase: organize and execute around priorities. There are 2 aspects that you need to be thinking about when you're evaluating your time: importance and urgency. Importance of tasks. Only you can determine what's important. These usually include things that need to be done to achieve a goal, and they most often have a deadline. And then there's urgency of tasks. These are high priority tasks. It's up to you to recognize an impending deadline and react in a way that you're not sabotaging yourself by distracting with low priority activities. You also want to make sure you don't wait until a task becomes urgent. Giving yourself enough time to accomplish tasks before you become so overwhelmed with time. And then you want to create a self-management system. You can create a monthly calendar. This tool can help in many ways. Behance, you can see your workload and identify your free time. You can record your work schedule, appointments, tests, research papers, and quizzes. You can also record important family obligations. It may be helpful to have an electronic calendar for your phone, tablet, or computer. Personally, once I have an important due date or an appointment, I actually set a reminder a couple days before it's due and then a couple hours before it's due, so I'm always aware of what needs to be done. And I always refer back to my calendar. And then there's a next actions list. This is essentially a to-do list, but it's structured in a way that it's in succession of what needs to be done first. Let's take a lab report, for example, and you want to make sure all your calculations are done correctly before you start on the hard copy. So you would make a to-do to check calculations, then a to-do to finish hard copy, and then maybe even a to-do of turn in lab report. Personally, I find it very satisfying to mark off my to-do list. I feel it keeps me motivated, and I feel extremely accomplished when I do mark off my to-dos. And then also I want to talk about finishing what you start. One of the most overwhelming things that you can do is have started several different projects and not finishing any of them because you're putting yourself in a position where you're feeling so much anxiety that you don't even know where to start, and so you essentially just avoid it all. So this is also a reason to start on projects early. And it's easier for you to identify time that you might otherwise be wasting. And then you need to divide your time between, and have a sense of balance between work, rest, and play. You want to make sure you have an adequate amount of time to do your work, so you're not feeling pigeonholed into a certain amount of time, and then you get even more stress because of lack of time. Also, you need to schedule rest. I mean, this should be one of your highest priorities. There's nothing worse than having 1,000 things to do and being exhausted at the same time. And then you always need to schedule time for play. You need to remember to reward yourself for staying focused. You can do anything from watching your favorite TV show, to reading a book, to playing games, or getting together with friends. And one thing that you really should be making time for is physical activity.
One thing you always want to be sure to do is tune into your body. Make sure you're listening to what your body is telling you. If you're getting a lot of headaches or you're getting a lot of migraines or muscle aches, I get migraines basically daily, if not daily, weekly. And those are major signs that you are stressed out. And so just always be sure to listen to what your body is telling you and to listen and cope with those signs. One way to cope with that is through yoga. Yoga is used to promote blood flow through your body, and it's used to promote blood flow to all of your organs, all of your tissues, all of the glands in your body. It just kind of relaxes you. It de-stresses you. Yoga uses different breathing techniques and meditation to quiet and clarify and discipline the mind, which is one of the many ways to tune into your body. Yoga is used to alleviate many problems associated with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, migraines, headaches, asthma, shallow breathing, backaches, and many other things. So it's it's a very good way to kind of get some physical activity and to relieve yourself from any stressful situation that you're in. It increases general health and stamina, and reduces stress and improves the conditions brought on by sedentary lifestyles that you may
one of the studies, the author said yoga is the mind-body therapy that reduces stress and offers numerous health benefits such as alleviating chronic pain, maintaining balance, flexibility, good posturing, and blood glucose control. And yoga routines can range anywhere from 20 minutes to 2 hours, so you can always take a class and do it with others, or you can always do YouTube a video, do it at home if you don't feel comfortable doing it around other people. I'm one of those people that I don't like looking awkward in front of people, so I go home and I YouTube the videos and try and learn how to do it myself before putting myself in front of the audience. Another way is to go to the gym. I love the gym. It's a great way to get out all of your tension that you're feeling. At the gym, you have ellipticals, treadmills, the machines. I can't think of what they're called at the moment, but there are many different muscle machines that you can use. Physical exercise is a great way to work off the tension of between work and school, whatever is stressing you out. It helps relieve tension, anxiety, stress, anger, and depression, and enhances one's sense of well-being. So you can always feel better. Like, I always feel better after I work out. While I'm doing the exercise, that's a different story, but afterwards I'm always like, I'm really glad I did this. So other people might not feel that way, but for the most part, people usually get a sense of well-being whenever they're done. And the reason for that is because of endorphins, and these are pleasure hormones that are released during physical activity, and they help improve your mood and relieve stress. Physical activity provides a positive means of coping with stress, anxiety, sadness, and depression. It also provides a distraction from work, school, your massive workload that you have, and it breaks that cycle of negative thinking. Like, if you're thinking negatively about something and you're like, oh no, I'm not going to get this project done, just go to the gym and work it out. It'll break away from all of that tension that's going on in your life. And another way is team sports are also a great means of working out, and they help to bring you together and bring togetherness. And sports and physical activities can be exhilarating and provide emotional release from anxieties and frustrations. And a lot of people like team sports because of the fact that you kind of get to take out some of that anger and aggression on something. You can get a group of friends together and maybe play a friendly and or not so friendly game of soccer or basketball, anything you wish. I'm not that type of person. I like to play friendly, so usually that's not the best for me. And also many people find exercise an enjoyable form of relaxation and an opportunity for socialization, which is a really good thing for whenever you're stressed out. You kind of want to be around other people. So if you enjoy being with others and being active, and team sports are always a great way to relieve stress. So, yeah. And next week.
Alright. So, team activities make us work together and function as a unit, right? So, another thing that you can do when you've sorted out your schedule is reach out to other people and develop strong relationships. So, as humans, we are social creatures. We desire social interaction. But if you're working 24/7, chances are you're going to get caught up in your work. Sometimes we tend to forget about the more simple things in life. This is where creating relationships and reaching out to other people comes in. So to start off, stress makes us think very inwards. It makes us focus on work and everything that we don't want to think about, like having to exercise regularly, having to work regularly, having to turn in assignments regularly. It all starts to catch up to us. So talking to other people and connecting with them allows us to it allows us to talk out our problems and to So whether you're talking on the phone with your family or you've reached out to some friends to talk to, discussing your problems with other people is a great way to relieve stress and work through your problems. Just venting about your problems and having someone to listen to can really make problems seem a lot easier to work through. Having a second opinion about your mental state and like what's going on in your life and everything that's happening can really make the whole scale of things just seem not as bad. So call a friend, whether it's your dad or your mom or maybe a long lost friend. Just communicating with other people is a really good way to talk through your issues. And also social gatherings, support groups, stuff like that. It's a really good way to relieve stress. If anything, in a worst case scenario where you can't contact your friends and family, reach out to social media and readjust your focus of what you're stressed about to something else. Another method is games, of course. Board games and video games, everything like that. Like I said, changing the focus is what you want to do from what you're stressed about to something else. And playing games is a really good way to do this. A lot of video games are designed to immerse you in situations and to get you involved in something. One example of this is, of course, the game Skyrim. Like, it's an RPG-based game that's, where you fight dragons and stuff like that. Like, I love taking a break from school or what I'm stressed about to, slay some dragons, be the king of the But there are also a lot of online games that really help you to decompress and just stress and relieve stress. There's another game, Zen Garden Simulator, where you're literally just simulating planting stuff. Like some people can't afford plants and stuff like that, so just like simulating the gardening experience is a really good way to relieve stress. You can also play board games or physical games, hanging out with your friends, playing some Dungeons and Dragons or Magic the Gathering. Once again, getting to that state of being a wizard. Slaying dragons, stuff like that. It's all really fun. But it's really important to not play too many games and to not get too involved in what you're doing in terms of gaming. Everything is great with moderation, so that goes for video games as well. If you begin to play too many video games, you can actually get more stressed out and more anxious about everything like that. One example of this is gaming in South Korea. Gaming is really big in South Korea. It's reached the part where it's in the mainstream, it's in pop culture, everything like that. And it's actually started to affect people on like a mental scale to where they've actually resorted to doing stuff like shock therapy and things like that to get these people to stop playing games and to stop being so obsessed with it. But I kind of want to mention the difference between how amateur gamers think and how pro gamers think, which is where pro gamers view gaming as kind of the means of, like they're trying to get a reward from it, right? Like they're trying to go towards a common goal and they're trying to develop a skill or something like that. But amateurs are literally just playing for the pleasure of playing the game. Like they're just doing it for the fun of it. They're not doing anything like relatable or anything like that. So all in all, games are an awesome way to interact with new people and to relieve stress. And yeah.
Okay, now you've heard the signs and symptoms and even took a test on how stressed and if you're stressed out to know how much. And the methods we talked about is how to deal with the stress is to be present, manage your time, being active and reaching out. If none of these methods work for you, you can contact a mental health professional. If you talk to a mental health professional, it doesn't mean something's wrong with you. Sometimes you might even need medication. I'm on medication, and it's helped me a lot deal with stress because I used to be in that position like prom last year. I freaked out in the middle of a nail salon because I was by myself and the lady was about to give me wrong nails. I wanted to be perfect on prom, and I literally had a mental breakdown. I was shaking my body, I was crying, I fell on the floor and I was just freaking out. My mom and one of my friends came and helped me, and I was literally having a mental breakdown in the middle of the public because I couldn't deal with that, and then school and everything like that. And not all people need medication. It's up to you and what's best for you, what works for you. Like, people in my group works for being active, going to the gym, gardening, art. Like, it's just, and if it gets too much for you one time and you don't know what to do, you don't know who to call, you can always call the suicide prevention hotline. That might be pushing, but you can talk to them about literally anything. They will be there. You can talk about family problems. You can talk about your work problems. They're there to listen to you. So there's something out there for you to help you. Anyone out there for you. Okay, for your test, if you look at your scores, if you're 0 through 10, you're below average. That means congratulations, you seem to be handling life stressors. If you're 11 to 14, your life is far from stress-free. So now it's time to learn how to reduce your stress to healthier levels, like what we've shown you. 15 to 18, you're medium-high. You may not realize how much stress is affecting your mood, productivity, and relationships. 19 plus is high. You're experiencing high levels of stress. The higher your score, the more damage stress is doing to your mind, body, and behavior. And at the end of the class, you can pick up from a bag. We have little chill pills for you to take, where you have a nice little quote in it.